Welcome back to our YouTube channel.
Welcome. Have you ever wanted to fast, but you don't know where to start? Today, we are here to help you. Hello, fellow artists. Welcome to today's video. Today, we'll be talking about fasting, and we'll be teaching you about fasting. We'll start.
Okay, so today we'll be talking about fasting. As we have a lot of questions about fasting, we don't know how it's done, and we get confused when we fast a lot. So the verse that I have for you today, it's in Matthew 9 verses 14 to 7. Okay, I'm just gonna summarize it because we cannot read the whole thing. It talks about John's people asking God that asking Jesus that John's disciples fast, but your disciples don't fast. Why? Then Jesus says a parable, and he says that can guests in a wedding mourn whilst waiting for a bridegroom? That's what Jesus said. So what I've learned about fasting, the purpose of fasting is being closer to God or being connected to God. Yeah, that's the purpose of fasting. For you to fast is for you to be closer to God or for you to be connected to God. That's why when Jesus was with his disciples, they didn't fast because already they were with God, or they were in the presence of him in that moment. So they were not fasting. And Jesus continues and say that there's a time where they will fast, where I will go. That means the purpose of fasting is for you to connect to God, is for you to be closer to God, for you to be in his presence. And they say fasting goes in hand with prayer. So they're like siblings. When you're fasting, you need to pray. The reason that you need to pray is because you're now communicating to the person you're being closer to. You cannot just fast or connect to a person. It's like making a call and keeping quiet and not saying anything. So you don't just fast and leave it like that. You are doing it wrong. So you need to fast and communicate. That's why you have to fast and pray. That's why in churches they say it's prayer and fasting. For you to fast and pray to God. So it's like that. You connect to God, then you talk to him through prayer. So when you fast, there's this thing that we do of making requests. Fasting is not for making requests. You don't ask things to God through fasting. You can ask things to God just in normal days, but immediately you involve fasting. You don't make requests to God. It's wrong. Because you are seeking his presence. You are seeking him to be with you, giving you the strength. That's why some people, when they face difficult situations, they fast, because they seek him to strengthen them. God knows what you need. He knows what you want in your heart. So don't make requests while you're fasting. Just worship him, just praise him, just connect to him and not make requests to him, because already he knows when he's in your presence, he will grant you everything you need. He will grant you the strength that you need if you need strength. And the other thing about fasting, Jesus in I don't remember which part of Matthew, but he said that when you fast, you must put on lotion and look like others. So that means that when you're fasting, you don't have to let people know that you're fasting. That's why he said put on lotion, because as people, when we're hungry, it becomes horrible. So you don't have to act up when you're fasting so that the entire world to see. We are doing it wrong when you're showing it to the world. It's something that has to be between you and your creator. Okay, continue.
Okay, thank you. Mina, I want to start by us answering what is fasting.
Okay.
Fasting generally is abstaining from food and drinks or both. So fasting is you sacrificing food for God. You sacrificing your drinks for God.
Okay.
And then what is the purpose of fasting? In Matthew 4 verse 11 to 1, verse 1 to 11. Sorry. In Matthew 4, verse 1 to 11, this is where we find the story of Jesus when he himself fasted and was tested by the devil. This is where we find the true purpose of fasting. In verse number 4, sithola ukuthi fasting is for hearing the voice of God and getting closer to God. And in verse number 7, sithola ukuthi fasting is for knowing God and having a deeper and intimate connection with Him. And then in verse number 10, sithola ukuthi fasting is a form of worship to God because by sacrifice we worship God. So if you go through the chapter, you will find ukuthi there's a part where Satan atshela Jesu ukuthi if you are really the son of God, why ungajintshile amatshe abesingo? And then uyasho ukuthi umuntu cannot live by bread alone but by the word of God. That lana ngilasithola khona ukuthi fasting is about hearing the voice of God, and then fasting is about knowing and being deeper and more intimate with God. So now what do we need to know? Fasting, it's not about you submitting your request, because I for one thought when I'm fasting
I have to.
God will answer my prayers. What number one, fasting does not manipulate God into giving you what you pray for. So if you fast, you can fast for 21 days or fast daily moto. Manipulate uNkulunkulu ukuthi akunikete because unofastile. Mina ngafasta for 21 days ngifastele imoto. I fasted for 21 days. I fasted angafast man, just praying, and she can get her car mina ngeke ngithole.
Yeah.
It's the rule of the thumb. Number 2, fasting should be purposeful. It should have a godly purpose. No, it's not about you, it's about drawing closer to God. So Lana, is God gonna give you your car because you went into fasting? Not exactly, but should I fast for what I want? The choice is yours.
Yeah.
It's yours, because God will give you either way.
Yeah.
Whether you are fasting or fasting, if you deserve. Now, the purpose of fasting, fasting serves your higher purpose, which is hunger. It serves your higher purpose, which is fasting. So it reminds you of what you are praying for. You are praying for being closer to God. So you shouldn't be thinking about it. No, but when you immediately go into prayer, because you know what fasting is for you and God. You are praying to God, communicating with God. And then the goal is not to feel hunger, or for you or for your suffering to impress God. However, hunger serves as the higher purpose, which is your prayer.
Okay.
Number 5, fasting is not a requirement, but a necessity. It is not mandatory for Christians to fast, but it is encouraged that they do because by fasting we are getting closer to God, and it's something that Christ himself did. So akukho eBhayibhelini ukuthi vele na Christian kumele fast, but you are encouraged to fast. Yeah. And then fasting does not certify that God will give you what you have prayed for. Access stembu fast you having this stamp
it's done.
And then the types of fasting list now, we have a partial fasting, that it's not eating at a certain time of the day, like from 6 a.m. from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. a partial fasting. And then we have a Daniel fast, the one
the one of fruits and vegetables.
We only eat fruits and vegetables or nuts for 3 weeks.
We have to try that one.
You can try that one. And then and another one is complete fasting. Water only, need juice just to keep energy. The number of days they vary from what you want. Water only. Absolute fasting. No water, no food.
Sure.
It's taken from Paul and Esther in the Bible, and Moses fasted for 40 days and 40 nights before receiving the 10 commandments. I mean, I don't want to receive 10 commandments, so I won't fast. And then we have corporate fasting, we can join as a church for that one. And then we have soul fastings, abstaining from anything that can be out of balance in your life. So it can be, soul fasting is abstaining from anything that can cause imbalance in your life. So it can be your phone, social media, Instagram, WhatsApp, all those things, television. But it's not really biblical. It's just when you feel like WhatsApp is distancing you from God, then you can go into fasting and just abstain from that. And then there's Apparently, there's sexual fasting. This one is for married couples. I won't get into it. Anyways, thank you for watching this far. I hope Uti, we hope Uti, you've learned something about fasting. And let's go into fasting. Yes. If whatever was squad, you
Social
can go
fasting.
into social.
Social.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, but no, I think Uti gang you can fast from Bangan. Yeah, I should fast from table. If someone is a bad influence from you, you are faster, and eventually the fasting is over forever.
You know, there's something that I just take note of. People always make this meme of how lazy the Israelites were to get to the other side to Canaan. But there's a part where Moses has had to fast for 40 days and 40 nights. And that means that they were standing in the one place for that 40 days and 40 nights. So that's why they didn't get their fast.
Because they were waiting for the commandment.
Okay.
For beginners, my advice for beginners, I would recommend a partial fasting. You can just
Yeah,
fast
like
for 4
time.
hours or 2 hours. Or for us, but if
For 2 hours, guys, even if you're not fasting, you can stay for 2 hours without eating. Imagine in class.
nangoke Jesu
Do you
bazalwane.
eat for
Nawe
you
Jesu.
don't eat every time.
Okay,
At
let's say
least
maybe 6 hours.
yeah,
Yeah,
from
6
six
hours.
going up because I know hey, food is big.
And put this emphasize at the point of fasting is not about getting your car, uthola ama-results lamahle. Because I feel ngathi kube it's something lengengayifunza kudala le
Yeah,
because I didn't know.
because I had that thing in mind which we fast because we wanna ask for stuff and God's gonna give them like
Even during exams,
Snip, snip.
I used to fast.
exactly. And then at the end, most of the time if I use fasting for getting something, it doesn't happen.
I
It doesn't happen. Like I just put faith in God. Yeah, it's gonna happen. It's just not the perfect timing. But I feel like it's because we've been doing it wrong.
And we are not really taught about this. I feel like this is something that we should know as about fasting, something like let's say because and had I not had the opportunity to study past, maybe being be interested in fasting and even fasting
Exactly.
and
As this is loot. And it's in when you're fasting, they'll be like, eat this. No, I'm fasting. No, I'm fasting. You can make another excuse. Be I'm not
Vele, so if
hungry.
you are fasting, you don't have to tell one. People don't have to know because it's between you and God. It's
You just have to say, I'm not hungry or something. Somebody will be like, no, I'm fasting.
You have to lie.
You put it out there in your social media. I'm fasting. Hey, what? No.
So, singasho ukuthi fasting is a certificate for you to lie. Bakubuta ukuthi ulambile uthi
No, I'm not hungry.
Right, you are lying ngoba usubulambile. But your hunger, it serves the higher purpose, which is prayer. So uma uvalese sikhali ungacabangi le-apula just think about God and the purpose why we fast. Yes. Thank you.
You will get to 40 days and 40 nights now. 40
days and 40 nights.
Yeah.
It's not a necessary requirement, which is fast. You can still get into heaven.
It's not something that you have to do every year or every month. But for you to be connected to God, you can do it every month. And find a day. Maybe
and fasting is not for slimming. Online, but
exactly.
It's not for slimming.
Exactly. I had people in January. Yay! Sengiluzile makati fasting yohlala ngingenela.
It's not a competition.
You're doing it wrong. Imagine now you praising fasting for your body. Hi guys.
And I think maybe like fasting is also one of the highest forms of worship to God because you are sacrificing something, and God himself sacrificed his son. Jesus himself sacrificed himself for you. Now you are sacrificing something for God. So
and especially because food is like where men's heart is. Men love food. And
I
if
hope you're not referring to each gender by
no,
because we do not promote you.
No, I mean like human. Men as human. I guess the Bible says men. Like we love food. So by you sacrificing food, I feel like it's the highest praise. Yeah, you can put aside a plate for a day or 2 or 3.
Or you can close your mobile data nje ukuthi ufunze iBhayibheli. Let me not mention it. Close ngiboshwe. Okay, sasicedzile. Thank you. Tune in for more videos and continue supporting us and also suggesting the topics which you want us to discuss.
I'm gonna open the comments.